Welcome to the Fight Horizon podcast, where Jiu-Jitsu leads the way to life's true meanings. Learn a fresh perspective and join Dan as he interviews fighters, hunters, and more. Grow your knowledge and understanding on Jiu-Jitsu as you join in on real conversations with real people. Now, let's join Dan Rathmanner as he leads you on this journey.
Fight Horizon episode 20 with Evan Katura and Collin, the collapser of real jiu-jitsu, everything in life. Well, that's me. But this is the 20th episode, so it's a pretty big milestone, right? So it's obviously got to be the sunglasses episode. We're probably not going to have a YouTube one on this one. We don't have a camera today, so just let you know if we ever reference sunglasses or anything like that, we're all wearing.
I did just stick my finger in Collin's mouth while you looked.
It was hot.
I actually hate when people do that. It ruins my on.
Said I was going to get ringworm. So
That's how you get ringworm on your tongue.
Not a doctor, but it doesn't sound right.
Yeah. I'll find a way. Don't worry.
You did have it on your eye. We talked about your
exactly.
AIDS our last podcast.
Yes, we did a little bit.
Cool.
We're like, you know.
Well, Collin, you're from what? You're from like episode 6 is the last one?
Probably. I don't know. You tell me.
Probably 6. It sounds
know.
about right. And you're from 18, right? For all the people.
First one.
You were. Oh yeah, you were on the first one, the main one.
I was an impromptu guest.
Yes, you were, which was good. It turned out very well.
It
Very
did.
well.
It did. We talked to Shane, sexy man.
The White Mamba is what we call them, right?
You know, when we talk about Shane, so one of my really good friends, Shane from back in the day, they used to call him Sugar Shane.
Sugar Shane.
Sugar Shane. So if you call me that, he's like, only people from my past call me that.
Oh yeah.
like.
That probably shouldn't be on recording.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna start calling him Sugar Shane every time. Sugar.
S-U-G-A. Sugar.
S-U-G-G-A.
Yeah.
What's up,
He was
Sugar?
kind of, he was a down motherfucker back in the day.
What's up,
Can you
Sugar?
imagine that? Okay, so when he was back in the day, right? They didn't have the internet, right? So.
Yeah, he's fucking old. He is.
So, all right, this always haunts me, right? So everything, like, all of our generation puts on the internet, I'm talking about, like, both of our generations, right? Always going to come up to haunt us, right? I mean, is that...
Yeah, it'll be a good thing though. I think that level of like transparency will be a good thing.
Why?
Because it'll expose people. There's no like hiding behind fake social norms anymore.
Oh, so you think it's going to be... Okay.
Eventually, it's gonna be.
It's going to be, like, a baseline for
Do you
truth.
think?
Yeah.
So you think it's gonna be like Europe in like their stance on like sex? Like,
Oh.
They're very open.
Oh.
Well, I think over time, conservatism in general just becomes more progressive because of that's just the natural state of things. I think that's what history tells you, and I don't know if it'll change, but you know.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
That's my
Baseline of truth. It's gonna hold us to what we say.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think that it will change and shape this world a little differently.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the shit that's going on now is a lot of like growing pains of going through that, because there's such a generational difference between like when you mentioned our generations before, between like the generation that's in power now and that's always been the case.
Yeah,
There's
but
always
you-
a huge
Let's
generation.
stop.
You have to remember too, though. My parents were baby boomers, and they were all about the peace, love,
Yeah, that's true.
in the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
So like they had it
Right.
instilled in them, and then as they got older, everything became more conservative
Right.
again. And I think it's almost like a rinse and repeat in life.
Totally.
And like we look at Europe and they're very open, culturally, and we kind of like we're so conservative. I think that yes, there will be a point where like people are gonna be like, you should see these things on the internet and experience this part of life, because
You grow past
if you saw it like randomly like one day in your life and you never saw it before, it's gonna change how you feel about everything.
Yeah.
But if you see it on the internet and you're like, man, like our group chat is terrible. Like you see things you never like. We're not even gonna talk about it because I don't think it's appropriate. But
Right.
It's like you see a lot of things. Yeah, it desensitizes you. It's like it's kind of like dudes that go to war.
Yeah.
It's like
when
you see like I remember talking to this Marine sniper at a wedding one time.
Okay.
He told me the hardest part about being in war, it wasn't the fact that he was killing the bad guy. It was having to stand there and watch a woman get stoned to death on a rape or whatever kind of accusation or cheating, not rape, but cheating accusation. And you morally want to do something, but you can't because in the guidelines of war, you're not supposed to intervene.
So it's not about it's like politically he can't do anything because of the religious beliefs of the area.
If you intervene, you're now breaking some kind of pact in the war.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's got to be real rough to go through. So okay, run back there. I mean, I still run into those Facebook things where it's like, oh, you posted this 6 years ago,
right.
And you know, I like just read it and I'm like,
do you
who the hell was that?
Do you feel like right, exactly.
You know?
So as I've gotten older, I feel like I've got more intelligent, like because I used to post really dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I look back at it, I'm like, man, that was fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And I posted that.
Yeah.
And as like now that I'm in my 30s, like I read more. I think I like break things down more in my head and like think about like how things work. Even the field that I'm in for work. And kind of dissect things a little differently than when I was like 25. I was like, oh, I did this job, and I'm a drunk that just goes out and posts stupid shit on Facebook.
Yeah, and Collin, I mean, it's like, so like things like Snapchat. I know you use a lot, right? That like protects you from it, essentially, right? In some degree.
Protects me from
like looking up on putting something on Facebook or social media, going, oh man, I remember that. Yeah. I can't believe I did that.
Oh yeah.
I'm ashamed of that.
Snapchat only exists for like the given time that.
Right. Exactly.
I swear to God.
On some level, yeah.
Snapchat was just invented for the fact that you could send dirty pictures for like now it's 10 seconds and just delete it. And then people were like, oh, you could screenshot, and then it just it was the whole purpose.
There was a point in the early days of Snapchat where you couldn't even screenshot the pictures.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember this is even before your time. Tinder. When Tinder first came around, they used to have where you could post moments where it was a picture, and all these chicks would post dirty pictures of themselves. It's like every dude that you're matched with can see this and screenshot this, and they would post all these pictures.
They can't still do that?
No, it's gone. They don't do that anymore.
Oh.
That's been gone for years and years, but the first Tinder was like, that's why it always got the stigma of being a hookup site.
How does this, it feels like, this prompts a question, like, how does this desensitize a human being, right? All this technology, okay, so stick with me here, right? So all this technology has developed pretty rapidly within the last 10 years, looking at the general spectrum of a human life, right? Being able to have this power and then this recognition or this cognitive ability to go back years and years and years and years and look exactly about what you were thinking at that one time. How is that going to affect not our generation, but just even ones coming up?
What goes through a person's head that they're gonna post a dirty picture of themselves on a social media site for clear strangers, which is almost the equivalent of being a porn star, and that's okay. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Even
I mean, it's got to be straight lust, right?
Happened?
It's animal instinct.
Yeah. Even going beyond that, it's like it's not because it's been so progressed so quickly in such a short amount of time that we can literally retain so much knowledge out of a little supercomputer, like more knowledge than anyone from 200-300 years ago would even care to know about.
Dream about. Yeah.
You can just Google search it right away.
Yeah.
So I feel like the foresight as far as how does it affect us is so discombobulated because you can't it's still so new in our system.
It's such a vast idea.
Yeah. So
we can't recognize red flags right away.
And it's not natural. We're not naturally. We didn't come up looking at these little screens. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So maybe there's got to be some derivative between that and then the social.
We didn't.
Well, still, I mean,
that's the difference, though.
Yeah. It was like T9 text.
The
that's
Motorola Razr.
Yeah.
We had the fucking T9s,
yeah.
And it cost you like 50 cents a text, so you never texted anybody. One text,
yeah, if you were going to say more than 4 words in a text message, you were like writing a novel. Yeah. Because you had to hit the 9.
Right. So
how many times for the X?
How do we get so disassociated with actually talking to people that now texting is the standard. It's like when somebody calls you, it's fucking weird. You're like, what are you doing?
I relatively.
Why are you calling me?
And just a good example, I was working with a real estate agent, recently, and they had to text me their bad news about it. Okay, so they said, "Oh no, this is the rate. It was my miscommunication." 15 words. I was pissed off like hell, right? But you didn't have the gall, right? The respect to call me even. And even think about that, how impersonal it is to call somebody, right? I'm not here in the room with you. I can't look you in the eye and say, nope, it's actually this rate. It's my fault.
Try being dumped that way.
Yeah.
I've been dumped 2 times via text message. It's like you don't even have the balls to like sit face to face and say, hey, this is done. Like, you're fucked.
You know what's going to be? It's going to evolve to like just a selfie that says, with this chick now, or with this guy now, sorry, see ya. You know?
But that's the level of communication now. It's like we're good because we have neutral ground where we come, we socialize. People, do this at the bar or whatever else. But this is like how we socialize. Like I look forward to coming here and like, chatting with you guys because we're all fucking different. Right. Everybody's so different here.
That's why I like having you and Collin on the same podcast. Right?
He's so
I mean,
dumb.
he's young. You're older.
Dumb.
Right.
Right.
I mean, the intelligence is varied, but
it's probably close.
You're such a jerk.
Like we're probably about the same, but I like to pretend I'm a lot more intelligent than I really am.
Right.
No.
White sunglasses, black sunglasses. Again, we're gonna go right back to the sunglasses, guys.
McGregor's, all right?
Oh, there you go.
The gold. You gotta have the cartels, like the
Get
gold.
this man a dolly. He's gonna make a name for himself.
I'm throwing it through Perry's fucking window. Perry Worth, fuck your window.
No, I mean seriously, it's funny because we were talking about this before, and you were saying that posts they get posted, you see them right away, you can send them to a lot of different people, right? But the ability for me to look back and say, like in 6 years, and say, wow, I can't believe I posted that. Roll down the road, right? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. How am I going to explain to my kid that I said this when I was 22 years old and go, yeah, man, you'll get to that age. You're just going to be dumb for a while.
I posted that shit now. I posted that shit back in the day, and now, like, my highlight of my week is, like, checking my credit score.
Yeah.
Like, I have Credit Karma, and I'm like, wait for that fucker to go up. I'm like,
720.
40 points.
Yeah, baby.
Got it.
Oh,
you know what's crazy though? So this is being older, and you're gonna figure this out. So I started paying. I had a collection on there that I didn't know about. So I started paying this collection.
See, that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, because when I was young, I didn't have fucking money, dude. I was making $10 an hour.
Well, not even that.
21, living on my own. Like I didn't have fucking a pot to piss in.
Right.
And so when people like talk about struggles, like I know what it's like to eat ramen noodles and not fucking do anything and just sit around and in your apartment, whatever.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, I'm paying this credit off, this collection off, and all of a sudden I'm getting like fucking phone calls like crazy from this place. So I answer it, and here's another fucking collection from even farther back. They're like, oh hey, so you have this, da 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 da, and I'm like, fuck, I just pay it.
See that happens to a lot of people though. So that's like that $40 you forgot to pay to We Energies back on your first apartment 20 years ago, and you're like, I don't know, I forgot it that week.
So I said to this guy, I'm like, I don't remember this, and he goes, well, the last payment you made was $40 in 2010. And like,
when was this? When did they get in contact with you, or
just recently?
Because
I started paying off
8 years.
So 8 years ago.
8 years.
Yeah, it's off my credit history. That's why it didn't show up. He goes, well, the last payment you made was in 2010, so 7 years is your credit history. So I'm like, holy fuck.
Okay, what?
Yeah, that's
okay,
hilarious.
let's wrap that up too, because even the concept of scoring a person,
that's terrible.
it sucks.
Or the concept of credit too. The fact that you have to stoop to credit, you know what I mean? It's just kind of
But you gotta get it too. At the same time, it's like there should be a way to penalize people for not paying things.
Right. There's an argument for it.
So this is a way to fuck you in the long term.
Right.
Like, hey, like even We Energies reports to them like crazy.
Right.
So maybe the middle line would be like have some person, let you know a year later, hey, you need to pay this bill off, so in case it compounds into this giant shitstorm 8 years later, you know what I mean?
Because when I was your age, it didn't matter to me. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just let it go. And then I forgot about it. And then now when I'm getting to my age, I want to get a new car, whatever else. It's like, well, now this number matters.
Right.
Now I gotta fix it.
And now we're still scoring people with numbers. We're scoring a human life with numbers, not taking account the events or the construct of how it did get paid or something like that. Like my mom got cancer or something. You know, I didn't pay it. I couldn't pay it. You know, that's the same score
people get
as
married in medical bills all the time.
That's
one of my biggest classes.
Right. But
medical bills.
the whole thing is like that is the same as I forgot.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's got to be some way. And what you mentioned, Colin, is like I'm going to hire a professional adult to be an adult for somebody else.
Right, yeah,
you know what I mean? Which sucks because then you have to
that's
judge.
Right. That's the reality of it, though. You know?
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And there's people out there that just can't be adults. They can't be responsible. They can't. You know.
And it's like, where do you draw the line? Because who the fuck am I to say that this dude, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like, where do you draw the line as far as, okay, so you got to pay another adult to make this guy be an adult, but does he do his laundry? Does he take care of his kids? Like, where do you draw the line? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's how do you answer the same question of what's a human being's life worth?
Right. Well,
right.
What I'm saying is like, how do you, as another objective person, like,
so
say
you're talking about the scale of sins and forgiveness, like.
No,
know,
well,
like,
yeah,
what
on some
weighs
level.
out more?
Yeah. What kind of ripple did you make instead of, you know? I forgot to do this one.
Did the positive things you did in life, do they eliminate the negative?
Right, exactly, or overshadow.
Because I'm a fucking scumbag. I've done plenty of dirt bad shit. I'm still trying to.
That's why we have you
fix
on
what
here.
I did.
I mean that's why we have you on here. I mean, really, to be honest with
you. Yeah, I mean, I just had a riveting conversation with a 45-year-old female who just started training.
you. Yeah.
You know,
It's like what they
let's
say.
talk about life. I'm all about let's talk about life because I want to know what happened in her life that brought her here. Right?
Does it help you with how to figure out what brought you here?
It does because, like, you know, like I said, I've gone on dates like older chicks, and like when they talk about their lives, it's like, so how does my life match up? You know,
So,
where
are
am I?
you kind of going with like jujitsu attracts a certain type of person, like a broken person, or
That's a good question, actually.
No, but yes, because there was always that video. There was that jiu-jitsu video, and it was done by Stuart Cooper, who does like a ton of jiu-jitsu, like.
Just hold real quick for everyone that's listening, and not watching because we're not putting this on YouTube.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris. Chris is our producer, and he was not able to be here today because I didn't message him, but the person with jiu-jitsu is brought up because the person that he was having the conversation with was trains and is here, and we are in the headquarters of Nutriground in Grafton. I wouldn't say headquarters. Grafton's headquarters of martial arts.
We are the
Let's say
northern
that.
front.
We are the northern front.
The
North of
North
the front.
remembers.
Right.
Yeah, the
Perfect.
North members.
Oh, I got a quote
is
for that.
Winterfell.
I'll pop that in a little bit, but continue with what you were
so
saying.
what I'm saying is, so Stuart Cooper did this video, and I remember Andre Galvon talking in the video about, like, he's like, yeah, you got a 50-year-old man, he's divorced, and they show a video of this guy, and he starts grappling, and he finds a purpose in life, right? Mm-hmm. So I think, like, a lot of us, like, we're, like, training, like, this gives me purpose in my life instead of, like, going out, getting drunk, fucking bitches, like.
It's a lifestyle for sure, but it's not.
But it's also a means of mingling.
Yeah, it's a good social area, and it's.
And you mingle with like people that you like. I would not be in the same room with somebody like Paul, who's a doctor.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for
me
jiu-jitsu,
neither.
they're on a higher level of education, whatever else. But
Yeah.
here we have something that brings us together, right? Mm-hmm. So Paul is a good friend.
Right.
And it's awesome to have somebody from a different field,
That
different
type of
aspect of
diversity.
life, right?
Yeah.
So you get this, and nobody cares about race, religion, whatever else. Like
Politics.
They care if you.
finances.
They
we
care.
all talk stupid on Facebook. Everybody gets that, but like when you come here, we all respect
All that shit
each
goes
other.
away. Yeah, all that shit goes away.
They care if you do a heel hook or not. That's really what they care about. And everything else floats away. That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu.
It doesn't matter if you're making $500,000 or waiting tables. Really.
Do you tap out just the same?
Yeah. Pretty much.
So.
That means he killed you.
Yeah.
You tap.
So does this? Yeah, exactly what it means. That's exactly what it means.
Right. I killed you.
So does this mean that jiu-jitsu attracts people that need that
Sense
can,
of purpose.
Yeah.
an outlet, a communication, a plug-in to so essentially what you're saying is it's the people that are almost casted out of society,
Other
right?
purposes.
Right? Because if they already had an outlet, if they had a plug-in, if they had a communication, they wouldn't be here.
jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
So it's like a bunch of band of misfits. Man, that is a great way to describe a lot of the friends I know from here, you know?
But
Well,
you could
I mean,
probably,
think about it. We're all so fucking different.
Right.
You know, like, would you and I be sitting here talking?
Probably
like,
not.
Right.
I've had
Probably not. He's, like,
I've
you're
had-
so confident about that answer right off.
Did you see
that?
that? No pause. No pause.
Fuck no.
Hell no. No, I've had conversations. Jimmy, even more on the outskirts is a little bit more rough. I mean, neck tattoos. You gotta say I'm probably not talking to that guy, right? But we've gone out to lunch after training. He goes, dude, do you realize I would not be sitting here? I probably think that you were just a preppy, jock from high school that I would never would to hang out with. But
You wanna know
now,
a good story about Jimmy is
is it podcast available?
No. Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Ricky that trains in Milwaukee, back in the day, Jimmy was like getting into a fight with like some of Ricky's friends, and then Ricky came up and they were all gonna get into a fight, and all of a sudden like everybody's like saw Ricky and he's jacked,
Right.
Whatever. They're like, oh fuck this.
A specimen of a human being.
And then fast forward years later, well, here's Jimmy training at NutriGround, here's Ricky, and all of a sudden become friends. Yeah, it's just funny how that works. Like years and years later, they both followed the same fucking path. To all of a sudden being like,
And the thing about jiu-jitsu is, I have a story like that. I'm sure Collin has a story, but I'm sure everyone else has a story like that, like somebody from their past that maybe they've ran into, right? But the thing about jiu-jitsu is it's not just, I'm going to learn, I'm going to use like Luke's terms here, I'm going to learn ground karate this weekend or this week, you know what I mean? It's working out, it's relieving stress, and it's balancing out your mind. So if you bring those three things together, right? I'm sure there's people out there that spend people in general spend millions, if not billions of dollars on those three aspects alone. Trying to find it, trying to subdue it, trying to maintain it.
Sure.
Of course. I mean, some people's way of doing things in life and like being happy is like crunching numbers, like being a fucking stockbroker, And like look, like you see the movie Wolf on Wall Street. I mean, that's based on a true fucking story. Like crunching numbers, making money, doing blow, fucking hookers. Like that's some people's purpose in life.
Yeah.
The American dream.
And what was funny is Jordan Belfort, right? That's what it's made of, or that's what it's based off of, right? I took his sales course, and he's a genius. He literally is a genius. It's all about tonality and everything like that. It's wonderful. If you guys have the chance, I'd definitely go take his course.
He started with penny stocks, didn't he?
Right.
Like, so he took little nothing stocks and made fucking money on it.
Yeah,
and just
genius.
worked his way up.
Yeah, it's great, and it's he did it in a time where he was the innovator, right? More or less, he was carving the
Back
path
when
for everyone else.
Quaaludes were king.
Back when there still were Quaaludes.
You know what's crazy though? Like,
Ask
if
Bill
you talk
Cosby.
if you talk about like Quaaludes, terrible. If you talk about Quaaludes though, it's
Gloves
so
are
similar
off.
to Ambien. If you've never done Ambien,
Yeah.
I mean, they're like the same. Like Quaaludes, if you fought the sleepiness, it turned you into a whole other animal. And I did that. I was taking Ambien, and I stayed up, and I would send out the weirdest fucking text messages.
Okay, so
I talked about dancing in the rain. I was like, this one time, this girl I was dating like slept over, and she's like, "You remember last night?" I'm like, "No, what?" She goes, "You were pointing at the fucking wall," and I go, "He's watching us," and she's like, "What? Who?
Oh, man.
What are you talking about?" And I go, "The gladiator," and I go, "Dory, I'll fight him." and she's like, "What the fuck?" Can you imagine, like you're trying. She probably stayed up all night. And I'm like, I'm all cold. Like after that.
two things. One, greatest night of her life, I bet. She talked about that for
This
2
motherfucker
years
was
after
like
that.
the gladiator.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe, you ain't got shit.
Yeah. Shout out Russell Crowe. Anyways, 2, okay, imagine putting that on social media. And then imagine 15 years from now explaining that to your kids.
I'm so glad that I did not
Exactly.
put anything on. Because when I texted my friend, I was like, I'm dancing in the rain. Like, he's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, so glad that never made it public. Like, people are like, what is wrong with this guy?
Man.
But that shit is the precursor to fucking Quaaludes. Like,
Yep.
So they got rid of that, and it's just like I watched this documentary on Adderall, and back in the day, they used to have like an inhaler that was an amphetamine, and they used to make like fucking swing songs like talking about this, like dancing on this shit and blah blah, and then it got banned because everybody got addicted to it, everybody was doing it, so they get rid of it. So then what do they do? Rinse and repeat. Well, here's Adderall. Everybody's got ADHD.
Right.
Every motherfucker, like so many people are on Adderall. It's crazy.
Right.
It's insane to me. Like,
okay,
it's probably.
Go ahead.
Don't you think it might be? I feel like it all revolves around the nature of our workforce and how a lot of people are kind of just more desk jobs and desk jockeys, and you don't really get to release those natural endorphins that exist. Where if like now you have ADHD, because now you got all this built up energy. You know, the average dude doesn't like necessarily work out.
Why are they taking something to give them more energy?
I don't know. Yeah, or make them focus, or I don't know.
There's the thing. It's okay. It's not a side effect. There's always an effect on a drug, right? It's just not the intended effect, right?
I love the when people are go, well, if you don't have ADHD, well then Adderall makes you feel this way. No, it makes everybody feel the exact same way. Yeah. It's like certain people just can handle it, but but it's all this shit that you're fed, like to say it. Like everybody goes, oh, whoa, Will.
So is this an adult thing, or is this mainly boosted off of
children
have this?
And it starts when you're a child, and they go, oh, well, your kid is hyper, doesn't do this, and that. So here's a drug to make this happen. Of course they fucking slow down because they're stoned out of their fucking mind, you know. And then
the brain is still forming too.
And everybody that's an adult that takes it has the biggest. Oh, it helped me through college. It helped me do this, and that. I don't take it all the time. They get so defensive about it. It's like that's an addiction. You don't realize it, but that's an addiction.
Well, okay, so people, one, you got to realize that we're living history, right? Back in the 40s, 50s, Coke soda was made with cocaine, right? How do you think they got so popular, right? How do you think they have a cornerstone? Yeah, right? So same thing, we're living history there. Hey, Sammy, can you look up when the brain develops or when it's finishing developing as an adult?
I think it's different for girls and guys, but I think guys usually finish around 22 to 24.
Right. So if you start an addiction, right, whether it be Coke as in the pop Coke, right, the soda Coke, right, with the drug in it, or Adderall, what's the difference, right? It's gonna ripple through your.
The end result is gonna be the same.
Yeah, it's gonna be into your adulthood, right, and then you're changing generations.
I honestly feel like if they had told me, okay, I probably still have ADHD, whatever you want to label ADHD. I feel like if they had a middle school that taught you how to like sail and hunt and do all this crazy shit instead of math and science and
that's
shit.
That's the thing. Is not every kid learns the same.
Yeah.
I'm a very kinesthetic learner. Yeah. I'm a very hands-on.
Exactly.
I can read something 100 times and it's not going to make any sense to me. But when I do it hands-on, that's how I learn. So every kid does not learn the same.
Exactly.
So you're feeding every kid the same exact way to learn. Like here's books, tests. This is how you do it. That's not how life works.
Yeah. Not at all.
Okay, so basically what it says is it can be into your mid-20s, into your early 30s. Is general what it's speaking.
Well, okay, so you're
technically all of us are still developing as mentally.
You're still in your 20s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old are you? I'm gonna be 34 in June. So I'm like as a person of like with a little more life experience.
Here it goes. My brain's fully developed. Okay, motherfuckers, listen.
But I feel like at my age now, like if you guys would have met me when I first, you were here, but like when I first started jiu-jitsu, I was a fucking hothead, like pissed off all the time, you know, I just getting drunk, whatever. And now in my 30s, like I feel like I'm more intelligent than I was, like we were talking about before, based on Facebook posts and whatever else. But like I'm more open to learning things. Like I bought a book on philosophy not that long ago. I'm just like, fuck it, like. It's something that interests me. Let me read an intro to philosophy. Okay. You know, because a lot of the management team at my job in the pharmaceutical world, they talk a lot about Stoic philosophy. You know, like because a lot of that transpires to this day. You know, so it's like if I want to be on the level that they're on, well, maybe I should educate myself to be there, right? And understand this thinking.
And everyone's gone through that, right? I like to, stages of my life I like to compare to the belt I had around my waist when I was in jiu-jitsu, right? It's the white belt stage. Man, I was spastic, didn't know what I was doing, right? I'm getting drunk, probably making bad decisions, right? Blue belt, well, maybe not too different. The only thing that was different is I moved back here and got a little bit more knowledge from my higher ranks. Let's say that, the people you look up to. So you can really relate jiu-jitsu to stages of your life and how it's helped you or how it's, catapulted you into being more open and learning, right? Or even just being able to understand your ego and being able to tap.
It's like now when you roll against a white belt, a lot of times they're very spastic and just like
Don't talk about me like that. don't you put that evil on me.
You're pretty good. You're pretty good. You're not as bad as you used to.
He's got a little bit of it though.
I elbowed you in the face today too.
Yeah. There's that, but there's worse than you.
They think in their head they're like speed is gonna kill everything. So they're gonna jump around your guard, blah blah blah. But they don't realize that like I'm being lazy, but I'm baiting you into a fucking trap.
Right.
Go ahead, take my side.
Right.
Because I'm gonna get out of it because you're so spastic right now. You're not thinking about the whole picture.
Right.
You're just like, this is my goal. Boom.
And that's life. And that's life, right?
Exactly like life.
Exactly like life. And see, the whole thing is like everyone goes through that stage so they can get to be where you're at, or where we're at, or even where Collin's at now, right? To fully have a little bit of a bigger picture on life. And it's all, life is just the jiu-jitsu game, right? There's going to be setbacks. It's going to suck at times, but it's going to be great, and you're not going to notice it when it's great.
You know what, too, is always listen to your elders.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we used to be against that. I was like, whatever. But, like, when you talk to the old guys at work,
they know shit. They've seen shit.
They've done it all. They've done the same thing.
Yeah.
Been through
that's
it all. That's why I'm so anti-marriage, because, like, when I talk to the old guys, like, I never would have
Man, don't do it.
Yeah, he's like, don't do it.
I wouldn't necessarily say always listen to your elders, but I totally agree with that sentiment that the older people know what the fuck they're talking about. That's why I feel like in the old tribal cultures, they probably had the elders to keep them around. I mean, other than their wisdom, they pretty much they don't hunt anymore. They don't gather shit. You know what I mean?
The understanding of knowing that, or even just thinking that they've walked in your shoes and they're trying to say something to you.
Yeah,
that doesn't tell you, but to say, I'm gonna push you in a way where you find it on your own, so that you know it for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
and not just me telling you.
If you engage them like I engage like you guys, they'll revert back to being like your age. Like they'll do like we got this older dude that works with us. Like we would fucking drop ass around him. Now this guy will come in the door and you're like this guy's 60 years old. And we'll just get him to do the same shit we're doing.
And the guy's thinking, fuck, I'm back in my 20s, man.
He's like, I got these motherfuckers.
Until that day comes around, he's like, oh no.
And you'll be like, oh, that was a good one. No, but that's all. I like that. Like, he's the same. He's just like us. He's just older. That's all it is.
Yeah, there's no difference.
Dude, we have been rapid firing. What are we, like 20 minutes in? 32. Shit, I've lived a lifetime.
32.
I've lived a lifetime in between those minutes there.
Dude, that guy. Fuck yeah.
Oh, guys, we are dedicated. We are
Look at me in my old Durango fucking doing wheelies.
They are facing right now, for everyone listening, they are facing a parking lot that has probably 4 inches of snow.
Yeah. Here we are in April.
I'm
wearing Carhartt bibs and boots. Sammy Sweetheart likes my boots.
Sammy Sweetheart. I love it. Yes.
Because Jersey Shore is coming back, so she's the only Sammy I know. Well, actually, I have my sister-in-law. She's Sam, but. And I remember when I was dating a girl named Sam, and she's like, okay, just so you know, I'm Sam, you're Sammy.
What does she mean by that? What do you mean?
Well, to differentiate, so you can't be like,
I'm Sam, you're Sammy.
I'm Sam,
okay.
You're Sammy.
Okay.
And that's Sammy.
Sammy's Sweetheart.
Sammy Sweetheart.
There we go.
She was my favorite character in Jersey Shore.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah, I'd never be together.
Shout out, Evan's single right now, right? Is it Evan single right now?
Is Sammy single?
Sammy's
single.
single.
Look him up. Shout out.
Sammy's roommate. I'm single.
Oh, don't blast the name. Don't blast the name. All right.
Who saw me on Tinder? So I thought that.
Let's not get on that. Let's not get on that.
No,
let's revert from that.
So I posted a picture of Dan and I in the podcast because I thought it was a good picture. Right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah,
somebody ran into somebody that I know ran into your picture on Tinder. So of course we were like, swipe right.
Swipe right.
Yeah. No, he didn't. He told her no.
All right, next topic. We're gonna get Monster to sponsor us because we're all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
All right, 20th episode. Man, it's been a long time.
Who'd you have on last week?
We
Clark?
had we had Clark. Did you listen to that one?
I did not.
It was a good one. You get to know Clark a little bit, which is intense.
stories.
Yeah,
He's got some
well, I
stories.
know.
He's like you. He's got some stories, man. He's got some stories where you're like, you did what?
Yeah, Clark started a year after I did, and that was when we were still under LCCT.
Yeah,
So he was kind of there for a lot of that.
yeah.
It was kind of an interesting time.
You know what's funny? You mentioned before you're like, white belts are so spastic, right? And they're all about speed. You go to kickboxing, they're all about power. You know, it was kind of funny that you said that. I made that correlation. I mean, you could think that using some power in jiu-jitsu in the right way.
And like Clark always told me, he's like, dude, you're a big guy. He's like, just use your speed and the power just comes. You know?
Right.
So I hit like when I jab, I'm not. People think I'm throwing hard. I'm really not.
I'm just trying to.
It's just like just because of my size, like my jab fucking hurts. You know, like and that's even like me going against a guy my size. Like it fucking hurts. You know, like.
Bro, you need to use that tennis ball I use. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Watching you whack yourself in the face was the most amazing moment in my life.
Guys, I bought the it was a generic one. I'm gonna describe it. There's probably a name out there for it. It's the headband with the stretchy string on it attached to a tennis ball that you're supposed to hit.
It's like $12 on Amazon.
Oh, it's probably cheaper than that, to be honest with you. You know, go get I got some stretchy string. Go get a headband and a staple and a tennis ball, and you'll be able to do it. I'm telling you. But it helps. It does.
Well, yeah, I assume it helps with your reaction time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you gotta react to like hitting the ball and hand speed coordination.
Yeah, I'm not even good at it, but it's like definitely timing and accuracy for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, eye-hand coordination when you're hitting. You can what I found out today too is if you turn over your punches, and it's really hard to do that when you're doing this because you're like, what's that little plastic game you used to play when you were a kid with the punching robots?
Oh, Rock'em Sock'em.
Rock'em Sock'em. That's what you can get into, but if you really snap it and turn it over, it really gets back.
Dude, it's weird. I swear to God it's in my gloves because it's weird trying to hit the ball. With your gloves, it doesn't look like you have to hit the ball up a lot, but like getting that thing to stay up
those
is
stupid
weird.
Hayabusa ones.
Yeah. The ones
Damn, man, how am I gonna get a sponsor now?
Honestly, actually, a
Like
good life lesson that Collin can talk about is the time that he wore a cup that was too small, and when he got
Oh my
hit,
God.
when I accidentally hit him in the balls, and
felt
he
like I
was
was
like
getting
screaming on the ground, and
felt-
I'm like, "What the fuck happened?" I'm like, "I thought he like ruptured his balls." Like,
So
Well,
let's
first
back
of all,
this
Evan's
up.
leg is like a log. And
Like an old dead oak in the
Yeah.
in the wilderness.
exactly,
Yeah.
coming full
Little
speed
stronger.
at my
Little stronger.
testicles.
Little stronger.
And
doesn't
when
break apart.
And when my fucking testicles get shrinked between fucking the tiny ass cup in my body, it felt like I was giving birth.
so
It literally
you get,
Okay,
like,
hold
you
on.
gotta
Back
use
up.
small,
Back up.
so-
What went through our head when we went to go pick up a training cup? We were like,
He's like, "Man, I'm gonna get."
probably
small."
that. It's probably that one. It's probably that
What
one.
went through his head is he understands that he has a little dick, so he.
well, that's exactly what it was. I was like, am I extra small or smaller? Maybe I should try medium. No,
Nah.
small.
I'm getting.
medium husky.
I got it. I'll try to stick with
What
the
if?
small. Stick with my.
What if there was like, you know how you go and get shoes, and you like somebody you try them on, right? And you have somebody like measure your feet. What if there was? What if there was a place like that?
Do they give you like a sock to put over it? Like,
Is that
so
called a
when-
brothel or?
Yeah.
I feel like you can get herpes that way.
Oh, probably.
Like some dude with herpes put this cup
Yeah.
on and then he puts it back on the shelf and like, hey, I'm gonna go try this on.
For sure.
It's not
Next thing
herpes
I
if
know-
it's everywhere.
And then,
So.
and then you gotta explain to your girlfriend how you got herpes. Well, I have no idea. I didn't cheat on you.
Now you're fucked.
Now you're fucked.
Now it just ruined your life.
Well, babe, we both got love bumps. So we understand together.
Oh.
So speaking of, like with cups though, like have you ever done it? Like when you do you wear a cup?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I
when
wear
you
a
put
tight, not titanium. It's
Yeah,
aluminum
mine's
alloy.
mine's
cup.
a double XL. I'm single, ladies. No,
Double XL
Wait.
in child sizes.
when you put somebody in an arm bar, and you're using the cup, you ever get that like pain
Yeah,
on, like,
absolutely.
along the sides? You're like, oh fuck! Like,
you get fucking marks.
It doesn't feel like you're getting kicked in the balls, but it's like it just pinches your fucking.
It's like rubbing skin together hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like getting a snake bite.
Yeah, like, I was just gonna say like a snake bite when you're a kid.
And you're like, oh god! You get up, and you're like, fuck.
But you just build up calluses over time. You know, you just have calluses all around your joint.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with that's not. You might want to talk to like some of the doctors here.
No, seriously.
Paul, check this out.
Check this out right now. I got it.
What was that big? No, I got this weird callus. What was that movie where the dude, Deuce Bigelow, when the detective kept coming up to him, he's like, "Hey, I got this." Yeah. Hey, can you look at this? He goes, I don't know what you're looking at.
Didn't he end up sending? He sent him a picture of it too, didn't he?
That's what you do here. Like you go up to the doctor, he's like, "Hey, check this out."
Hey, man.
Pull your pants down.
You know, God forbid, speaking of like things like that, or any injury or anything like you have symptoms of, WebMD it. You'll go from.
Because then you'll have cancer.
Exactly. No, this is what I'm getting at. I'm like, you either have cancer or double cancer. That's what you have.
I did it the other day because I was using like a teeth whitener.
Yeah.
And my fucking gum turned white on the side, so I look it up. And
What?
it's like, well, could be cancer.
Whoa, wait, like white, like your hat white, or like white, like.
It's like the tip of my gum like turned like a whitish color.
Like if I press
Like
my
dead
knuckle
skin kinda
hard,
color.
it's gonna. Okay, dead skin kind of color. Okay.
And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that? And then I'm looking it up, and it's like, could be gum disease.
Could be gum.
Dude,
Could be
it
herpes.
turns out it was just from
Could be
fucking
AIDS.
whitening my teeth.
No joke, that happened to me. I was using this Scope mouthwash for a while, and I thought I was getting like black marks on the outside, in between my teeth, especially on the bottom row. I thought it was just from drinking coffee.
Really?
But it turns out it was this mouthwash I was using, and apparently, because I was looking at the reviews of it, and apparently there's like 2 to 3% of the population that gets these weird black stains on their teeth.
Dude, you know.
Too much fluoride will actually cause your teeth to turn brown.
Really?
So there was back in the day there was like some city or something in like Colorado, and they had a high fluoride content in their natural water, and it would turn all their teeth brown, and it was because it was like too much fluoride.
Okay, so I've researched this, right? There's fluoride in all of our water, right? There's.
No, they put it in. Yeah.
Yep. There's
That's why I
high.
don't drink tap water.
Thank you. So fluoride is proven.
Don't get Neil on this topic because he'll go. Oh, he blasted me on Facebook one time because he's a dentist.
Okay. Well, we'll get him on here. We'll solve this. But there's fluoride in the water, and I've researched this, right? So if you drink fluoride water that has a high concentration, it goes into your bloodstream, right? And it goes straight into your bloodstream, meaning your blood goes up to your head, right? And there's a blood-brain barrier where your pineal gland is past the blood-brain barrier, right? And if you have a high concentrated...
Does it go in line with your chakras?
No, yes, that's chapter 2.
animals
We'll go on
too?
that next one. The spirit animal really kicks in the next one. But no, it will calcify your pineal gland, right? Which affects your chemical balance in your head. So it's all kinds of effed up. I should really post the article I've found.
You know, being in the chemistry field, we use this chemical. It's a solvent like acetone. Dimethyl chloride, DCM.
Okay.
They send us out for annual
Dimethyl. What say it again?
dimethyl chloride.
Okay. Dimethyl chloride.
So, what they call is DCM is the short for it. So they send us out for medical evaluations, right? And I have no idea what was going on with this. I just totally freaked that brain fart. But it'll.
Do they like test your blood in case it was
they take
toxic?
blood. They have you do urinalysis. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So I was telling all the guys at work, like I went back and I'm like, hey, I was like, did they check your prostate? And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. He's like, bend over. He's like, I gotta check your prostate. And they're like, no. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, was that weird? Like,
Dude, I get mine checked twice a year.
yeah. No, but I was fucking with them. I'm like, they didn't check yours? And all these guys like, I was like walking like, I'm like, dude, it's not. I'm like, I'm farting lube.
Oh God.
No, but
It's not really like farting. It's like a
when
sneeze
you
out your butt.
When you inhale this solvent, it actually turns to carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
So apparently,
in your
like within
bloodstream.
30 days, like they can check your carbon monoxide level and be like, oh yeah, you were way overexposed. We have to wear supplied air. Like I have.
Solid.
You can't even wear like a respirator because it eats away at that.
Ooh.
I mean, this is just one of the many things that I use, but
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a dangerous guy.
I'm a dangerous guy. I bring that tank home and fill it with something else.
Some of this chemistry, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary. Like I was talking before about like using hydrogen. Like I mean, hydrogen is super flammable. If you look at the Hindenburg, they had an embargo on helium, so they filled it with hydrogen because it's the lightest gas. It's
Right.
the lightest atom on the periodic table of
Mm-hmm.
elements.
Number 1.
You know, what's the heaviest is? Uranium.
Number 99. Oh,
Uranium is the
uranium,
heaviest. Yep.
which is
Heaviest
radioactive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very
I
healthy
work-
for you.
I work in a field where it's pretty much all petroleum, silicone, and carbon.
But
so
guess
I can't,
what- guess
I can't
what all
Is
waste-
that the porn industry?
I can't, yeah.
What are
No.
you using
Petroleum for it. No.
Well, if I
I can't-
if I have to
jelly,
tell
I
you,
get it.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, guess where all these solvents come from in chemistry? They all come from oil.
Really.
If
Yeah.
oil went away, chemistry's dead.
Syria. That's why people say that there's that issue in Syria. I'm telling you. I mean, I haven't researched it, but I'm just gonna say stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know shit about
Well,
it.
we all know that the Middle East is all about oil. Like that's all it is. Everything about that area. Because why do we dabble in that, but we don't care about Africa? Think about it. You know, like when shit goes on in Africa, we just go whoop, fuck it. We don't know anything about it. We just turn our backs. But when it comes to the Middle East, fuck, we're there.
You know, I can agree to that point. I can agree to why are we focusing on certain areas of the world? How's this? Let's argue this. Okay, why are we focusing on any other area in the world other than ours?
Yeah, exactly.
Because-
We have so much poverty here as it is. You know, there's
It's
no
all about
reason-
money.
Yeah, it is all about money.
There's
kinda sad.
problems here at home,
Yeah, a lot of systemic societal.
but
problems.
let's say that if you know wrong is going on in wrong, I mean by, let's just use the example, chemical warfare on their own people, something like that. Just even like World War II, the crimes in World War II. If we would have never stepped in, right? That was going on outside of our borders, right?
Right.
Where do we draw the line?
We were still supplying the UK with
Right.
with things to fight Germany.
Right. That was technically like a
What
a
brought
foot
us
in
into
the
the
door.
war was the fact that Japan attacked us, and then they say that Great Britain knew that attack was coming, and they never told us because they knew that's how we would get into the war.
Shut up.
Yeah.
How would they know though?
Intelligence picked it up. You know, because
Okay.
the Japanese were in cahoots with the Nazis. I mean, they were Axis.
Right.
Yeah, dude, the Japanese were probably more Nazis than the Nazis were themselves. as
No,
far
the
as-
Japanese were absolutely terrible.
Yeah, as far as like their ideals and whatnot. But anyway.
I think they're all pretty bad.
Well, I think the Japanese were
The
more.
Japanese were actually worse.
Yeah,
and,
we're
and a
way-
lot we
way more
brushed that away
fascist,
and just
too.
go, eh. But they did a number on the Philippines, and
Korea.
China,
Yep,
Korea.
the whole
China.
Asian countries. Like they did terrible things.
Yep.
You know, and people always go, oh well, the Germans were bad. Actually, the Japanese killed more people. I mean,
just
the
that they-
Bataan Death March was 40,000 American troops from the Philippines
Yep.
getting marched up north, and then nobody knows what happened to them. A lot of them were even put into slave labor, like companies like Mitsubishi, Fujifilm, like all those. Like they
Okay,
had-
shut up. Really?
Yeah.
Like back then.
back then,
That was- and they
they made them, and
It was a 3-day march barefoot.
right.
3 days. They wouldn't let us-
40,000 American troops from the Philippines, and you know what? I forget the general's name at the time. He got out like 2 days before because he knew it was going to happen. And that's why my grandfather, he fought in the Pacific Theater. He was like, fuck that guy. Nobody respected him after that because he jumped ship quick to get out of there before the Japanese took over. 'Cause
Okay, so there was MacArthur, right? There
believe
was
that was him.
Patton.
it was MacArthur.
Patton was in Africa.
Patton was
Patton was in Africa.
Desert Storm.
No.
Yeah,
That was wrong era, bud.
No, wasn't he was involved in Desert Storm? When we took over the Italians in the Northern Africa, right? That was Desert Storm.
No, that wasn't Desert Storm.
Desert
Which
Storm
is
was in the 90s, bud.
90s, bud. World War
You
II.
were born.
So the Northern Africa,
But the
right?
Axis
Italy.
controlled North Africa, yeah.
Yeah.
Germany had big interest in Africa.
Yeah. That was Patton, and then MacArthur was in the Philippines, right?
Yes.
There were other generals though too, right?
Yes.
I can't remember. Can you remember any?
I can't offhand, but I believe it was MacArthur that was the one that
Guy with the pipe.
everybody lost respect for because he led 40,000 of our own troops in.
Dude, that's a hard job.
Yeah, it is a hard job.
That's a hard job, and there's probably choices that went around that could have been 80,000.
You have to take in perspective that human life in this case, what's going to be the biggest casualty of this, and you have to say, well, 40,000 people dying. Well, that's just a part of this war, but it'll save 100,000, right? You know, like look at
but you look at that choice and you're like, I'm not a human anymore.
Well, of course, because
Okay, that's 40,000 families. That's 40,000 families.
You desensitize yourself.
I know.
When I watched that movie that's on Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
You know, when he took office, they wanted to make peace with Germany, and he was all against that. He was like, "We got to go to war. We got to go to war," because Germany just kept breaking treaty after treaty after treaty. You know, Hitler was like, "Fuck them. I'm just gonna keep doing it." And there was a point in time where their troops were pushed all the way back to the France ocean border, like into the English Channel.
Yeah.
Where he called out order for anybody with a ship, go there and pick the troops up.
What was that movie?
It was on Winston Churchill.
Yeah, but they made another movie about that. About that order.
This one was called like Churchill. It's newer. It's not like super action.
Everyone that's listening, our knowledge is based off of movies. Let's go off that.
No, actually,
do you know? And I'm a huge conspiracy theorist. I'm gonna let that flag fly here a little bit. But the first attack that the Germans made was on the neighboring country. What was the name of that? Was it Austria?
Because Hitler was from Austria.
Belgium? Poland?
No.
Poland was
Poland.
later. Poland was later.
France. It was after France.
No. Sammy, what was the first attack that Hitler made?
No, don't look it up. Let's just talk out of our ass.
Do you know what he
That's
did
what this whole podcast is.
Do you know what he did to the French though?
What?
So you know, in World War I, the French had a train that they made. Germany signed their surrender on, right? Mm-hmm. When Hitler defeated,
Wait, say that again. They had a what?
They had a train, like a rail car that they signed their surrender to France on this cart.
Okay.
When he took over Paris and France and they wanted their surrender, he took that rail car, brought it into Paris, had them sign their surrender on it, and then he got rid of the rail car. Just to be a fucking asshole. Just to fuck you. Here's the rail car that you guys signed, that we signed our surrender on. We're gonna bring it back and do it to you, and then he got rid of it.
Oh.
Just to be a dick.
Wow. Well, anyways, so the idea of so when Hitler attacked this neighboring country, and I think Sammy's looking it up here real quick, it was the idea that he wanted to attack this and gain this city that had the spear of destiny on it, and it's actually, you know, fact. It's written down. It's accumulated that a lot of his moves, a lot of his attacks were made off of accumulating artifacts.
By the way, I just looked up. Desert Storm was like in the 90s.
Yeah,
I just thought it referred to them.
God damn it.
You know who Daniel Doherty is?
No.
He trains at Milwaukee. Yeah. He was in the Desert Storm.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your service.
No, you're thinking of they call him the Desert Fox, and
That's what it was. You're right.
It was
that was the name of
No. It was the general for Germany. I forgot his name. But he was the Desert Fox.
Yeah.
That was the name of the German general?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the whole reason that Germany was there was because he had very big interest in
the Italians were there
religious
too.
artifacts,
Yep.
Spirit of Destiny,
Yep.
the Ark of the Covenant, which is why Indiana Jones had the whole Ark of the Covenant with the Nazis. Because they really did have big interest in finding that. Like, to prove that Christianity was superior.
He also was feeding his soldiers amphetamines, like we brought up before. He's like,
amphetamines.
And he was obviously on them. Well, I mean, not obviously, but allegedly on them himself.
No, he was on them. That's
confirmed.
Yes, confirmed. He had doctors that were giving him. I mean,
like cocaine and.
No, he was on like straight amphetamines.
Like, really? And the
what do they do to you?
The whole army was.
It's Adderall.
Oh. Well, like the
Methamphetamine.
United States population right now.
Right, pretty much. But you know, the only thing that separates, when people are like, well, methamphetamines is worse, the only thing that separates Adderall from methamphetamines is just the methyl part of the chemical chain. Right. So it just has that little methyl piece in it. But it's not that much different. That's why I'm so against it. Like, because it's just crazy to me.
Czechoslovakia. It was Czechoslovakia that he attacked first. Do you know what city that was? It was a city on the border of Czechoslovakia, right? And there was the idea that the Spear of Destiny was in this museum that was in this city that he needed to gain gain power.
So how would an artifact like that survive? Like, the Spear of Destiny is the spear that pierced Jesus' side.
Yes.
When he was on the cross.
Yes.
it's like, and people, you know, when that happened, they didn't look at him as a significant person. They were, you know,
because they were crucifying everyone.
Well, even though at the time I feel like Jesus would have had some historical. They knew he was a big person, otherwise they wouldn't be killing him, right?
Well,
they had
no.
You don't feel like they didn't know that Jesus was like, he might not have been on the level he is today, but they didn't think that he was like
nowadays.
I think
Jesus would have been looked at nowadays as like a David Koresh, like somebody who like had this outlandish, you know, like, oh, I'm in tune with.
But he had a massive following. That's why they killed him. No.
Right.
For sure.
Right. So he would have been viewed nowadays as a cult leader.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like David Koresh, like whatever.
So how do we know that Jesus hasn't already come back?
We don't.
Oh, we're all lost souls.
What if the Mormons? So the Mormons
Band
are right.
of misfits.
Are you saying the Mormons are right?
No, the Jews are right. He hasn't come back.
I'm gonna let you guys state that out, 'cause I really don't want to state anything right now. No. I mean, we're just a band of misfits, right? All trying to find ourselves. Okay, go for it.
You guys continue this conversation. I'll join back.
Let's talk about white sunglasses.
Talk about Desert Storm.
No, how's your game going, Collin?
My game?
Yeah, jiu-jitsu.
Clash Royale?
No.
My jiu-jitsu game is going very well. I'm enjoying it.
Are you? What are you running into?
Dars chokes and anaconda chokes. That's my thing right now. That's kind of what I'm focusing on. And I like how it's kind of, that's the way jiu-jitsu progresses. You can focus on different shit at different times, and eventually it'll lead you to another natural progression. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you correlate that with life at all?
Not really.
No? You haven't found that yet?
I don't think so. I mean, I understand that there's like growth and whatnot, but there's no linear. It's not like a study of an art form like jiu-jitsu is. You know what I mean? Or any martial art for that matter. You know, it's not. There's relations to it, but it's not the exact same.
There's too many variables to pick it up within 2 to 3 years. But there are variables that you'll see later on that pick it up within, gosh, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. You'll see. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. You're a different human being. You won't ever see it, or you'll see something different, right?
Sure.
You know, and that's an understanding that a lot of people need to have. But God, it's
possible. But yeah, that's what I like. How it'll eventually lead to maybe some other crazy.
Evan looks terrible with those sunglasses. I fucking hate it.
The bibs make it.
Two monsters and a liter of water. Apparently, you gotta.
So,
you hate my sunglasses more than you hate his?
No, I hate his more than I hate yours.
I hate white sunglasses.
I used to own a pair of white sunglasses. See, that's the progression of life. I used to own a pair of white sunglasses. Now I hate them.
I know, but now it's like you look at it, you're like, man, that guy's a douchebag.
Yeah.
I honestly.
But when I wore them, I was like, man, I'm the shit.
Yeah.
Back me up on this shit.
Yeah. I used to wear affliction shirts. And
oh, man, I would have never said that.
Hey, man, you just gotta own up to what you were. I was that guy.
All right.
I was that guy.
That guy. Yikes.
But I was like buying affliction shirts like when it first started coming out, and then all of a sudden it was like all these 45-year-old like guys that worked out and stuff.
Just like Ed Hardy
bleach
shirts.
pants.
Just like, oh god, that was worse.
Bleach pants, bleach hair.
I didn't not then.
Affliction shirts.
If you see my high school senior picture though, I had bleached hair.
I had bleach hair.
Oh god, so did Steve 2000.
Steve 2000!
My senior picture.
That's such a weird trend. I wonder what's the trend of that today? Like fidget spinners? Is that what it is? Is that gonna be like?
No, it's eating Tide
What the hell
Pods.
does fidget spinners have to do with hair?
No, I mean like that was like a weird trend back then. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's eating Tide
trend
Pods
now
and
is
snorting
beards.
condoms.
Beards.
Yeah.
It's eating Tide Pods and snorting condoms now.
Eating Tide Pods, snorting
Yes,
condoms,
yeah.
and
No.
beards.
Yeah.
Like wow. But you know, we had like the cinnamon challenge or the milk challenge like when we were younger.
Yeah, that was the warm up to it. Now I'm like, all right, now
it's
stick
like,
a knife through your hand.
Hey, I'm
All
gonna
right,
get Dad's Magnum condom out of his dresser.
I'm gonna snort the shit out of it.
and suck it out my mouth like.
Oh God, just thinking about that. Can you imagine feeling your nasal cavity?
Back in my day, the snorting challenge was fucking cocaine.
When's that gonna come back to be cool?
Hey man.
Hey man, I mean.
For the record, I've never done cocaine.
I don't even know what cocaine is.
Oh right. It's
Right.
what it's an ingredient they put in pop back in the day. We already went over that.
Yeah, right. Like, You look like.
Don't you put that evil on me.
Yeah, just in case Don's
What
listening.
would Don think of that?
Oh, yeah, we at the same time. Everyone listening, Don's his mom.
Don't. Do not.
Like Breaking Dawn?
Do you want to dig deep into this? No.
Here's
All
my
right,
sword
all right,
flame.
all right.
Here's my sword to flame. No.
Oh,
Leave it at that.
yeah, let's go back how to Wisconsin is
Dawn
gay.
is the part of the day when the sun rises and
Right.
you see it on
Right,
the horizon.
right.
Exactly.
Oh, you see it on the horizon for sure.
Fight
Yeah.
horizon.
Fight horizon.
Nice, dude.
Oh, all right, guys. I gotta wrap it up. We're getting close on an hour, and I don't like to go over more.
When you're done wrapping it up, you take that fucker and you snort it.
20th episode, sunglasses episode. I appreciate both of you guys being here.
Yeah, thanks for
You're,
having me on, too.
yeah, no, thank you guys. I appreciate it. We're gonna be coming up with another episode with Evan again. End of April. When do we schedule that? 2 weeks from now? Yeah, I don't want to double up to him. 2 weeks from now.
Not 20th.
Stay
Colin's
tuned.
busy that day, so
20th, Colin's busy that day. He's gonna get some new.
20's next weekend.
He's gonna get some new. He's gonna get some new sunglasses by then for sure. All right.
He's gonna have some Rastafari.
All right. Fight the horizon, guys. We're out.
Thanks for listening to the Fight Horizon podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe. Also, you can connect with us on Facebook and Instagram using the keyword @FightHorizon. And we'll see you next time.